Thousands of lives were lost in the fight between Invincible and his father Omni-Man. Even though Invincible was trying to protect the people from his father's conquest, a lot of people didn't see it that way because the cost in lives and the devastation is enough for the people to ponder. For some, the pain will never fade, and one individual profoundly affected by this tragedy is Scott, the superhero known as Powerplex. Powerplex's sister Jessica tragically perished amid the devastation, etching an indelible pain within him. This sorrow now fuels Powerplex's conviction that Invincible is the root cause of this calamity, compelling him to seek revenge at any cost. Unfortunately, his quest for revenge ends up costing him his own wife and son. So, how did things get so messed up? Before we get into the details, please consider supporting this video by giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to the channel would be. The narrative unfolds with Powerplex and his family strategizing how to confront Invincible. When the opportune moment arrives with Becky, his wife, acknowledging his readiness, Powerplex becomes confident that the time is ripe to set his revenge plan into motion. Meanwhile, within the confines of the Pentagon, a scientist reveals the disappearance of a biotherm disk designed to store and channel energy into the human body. These disks are being stolen, and the authorities are closing in on the thief. Little do they know, it's a guy named Scott who took the disks. Feeling pressured and wanting Invincible's attention, Powerplex plans a crime. However, instead of Invincible, Shapesmith appears on the scene, leading to a confrontation. Powerplex, asserting that he is not invincible, clashes with Shapesmith, who attempts to mock him by morphing into Invincible. Powerplex gains the upper hand, knocks Shapesmith back, and makes a hasty retreat. Back at his house, Becky would argue with him after finding out about his battle with Shapesmith. He explains to her that they know about the equipment he stole, and he doesn't want to go to jail for that before he brings Invincible down. His wife calms down and tells him she also invested in the plan and doesn't want to feel left out. Apparently, they know someone is stealing the equipment, and as more of the equipment is being stolen, they will eventually know that Powerplex is behind it. Powerplex really needs them so they can help control his energy absorption powers, but still, it wasn't enough. Some of his energy is still leaking out, so he went ahead to steal more. But now he realizes the risk, and he might have screwed up. Haunted by the belief that he's failing his dead sister if he doesn't get revenge, Powerplex remembers the last moments with her before Omni-Man and Invincible destroyed the building where she worked. Convinced that Invincible and Omni-Man worked together to cause the destruction, Powerplex quit his job to focus on making Invincible pay. Powerplex's revenge takes shape as he plans another confrontation, drawing other heroes like Bulletproof, Rexplode, Robot, and Monster Girl into the scene. The fights make Powerplex more powerful. Invincible's absence during these fights makes Powerplex angrier, even scaring his young son. After some thinking, he comes up with a plan. He suggests that his wife and son act as hostages, forcing Invincible to save them. Becky, always supportive, agrees to this risky plan, and they put it into action. Powerplex ties up his family, demanding that only Invincible comes to help. The news broadcasts the situation, getting Invincible's attention. As expected, Invincible shows up. When Powerplex sees him, he asks if Invincible knows Jessica Duvall, his dead sister. Invincible has no idea. Powerplex gets charged up, reveals Jessica's identity, and blames Invincible for her death. Invincible apologizes, but of course, merely apologizing won't suppress Powerplex's thirst for vengeance. Instead, it only makes him angrier, and he blasts Invincible with his charged energy. Invincible grabbed him by the wrist and said he won't allow Powerplex to kill him. He begins to punch Powerplex and explains he knows how his power works. It appears the Teen Team gave Invincible information from their previous fight, but unfortunately, he doesn't only absorb explosions, but he absorbs the kinetic energy from his punches, firing it back at Invincible. Invincible sees that the fight is dragging on, and he attempts to free the hostage first, but Becky spits at him. Powerplex kicks Invincible away. Scott manages to land many blows on Invincible and puts a large surge of energy through him. However, the large surge of power gave him too much energy, causing an outburst that incinerated his wife and son. Immediately, Powerplex noticed he stopped, but unfortunately it was too late. His family was already dead. Seeing the irreversible tragedy, Powerplex holds his family, overwhelmed by grief. Invincible, moved by the horror, tries to comfort him, but Powerplex blames Invincible for the deaths, making their conflict worse. Mark understands Powerplex's powers and decides to stop the physical fight, opting for a bear hug that drains Powerplex's energy. Scott is taken to a place called Stronghold Penitentiary, without solar energy and electricity. Invincible visits him, admitting fault and explaining his actions. Despite Invincible saying sorry and talking about his past heroic deeds, Scott is determined to get revenge. He promises to escape and find a way to kill Invincible.